There is a lot to talk about, and it all concerns a man who calls himself the best in the world for good reason, CM Punk. This is my reaction to him coming out on Thanksgiving, actually, and, speaking out about his departure on WWE, why he left, his issues with the company, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you have not seen the interview, please go watch it. It is on Wrestling Paradise. I'm pretty sure it's elsewhere on YouTube and the internet. I mean, I told people about it yesterday, and apparently Colt Cabana's website, which is where he did it on his podcast, Art of Wrestling, it got so much traffic, it shut down the website. So you can only watch it here on YouTube or on iTunes or something like that. I don't even know if the website is up. Maybe it's up right now. But I checked it all yesterday. It shut down. And by the way, when I put the news out on my Facebook page, I got tons of new likes and tons of new followers. So those of you who followed me on Facebook because of this or met me through Facebook and this is your first time watching me, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully, my videos entertain you or entertain you as much as I would like them to entertain you. But at the very least, my videos are thought-provoking and get you to talk about wrestling or the subject at matter. That's all I'm here for. Discussion on wrestling. So let's discuss my reaction to CM Punk speaking out on his WWE departure. First off, the fan interaction for this. Fans are going nuts. It has shut down the internet. Instantly, overnight, CM Punk has gone from quitter to martyr. And I'm sorry, the WWE is in some deep trouble right now. I can't see them being presented in a good light for a very, very long time until they do something. Like I said, it was such a hot topic that it crashed Colt Cabana's podcast site. He's done it again. CM Punk has once again set the wrestling world on fire. Any company that picks him up right now, if he decides to come back to wrestling anytime soon, which he won't, he's happy. He is completely happy right now, just being who he is and living off his labor. But any company that does get him anytime soon, you're going to get a huge increase in viewership and revenue, for sure. So far, we've gotten a few people from WWE who have come out and spoken about it. I'm shocked that people are even speaking about it from WWE, but it's no shock when you really think about it. People like Road Dogg, Jesse James, real name Brian James on Twitter, has come out and argued with fans over Twitter about it, which I thought was stupid. He talks about how there's two sides to the story, and so I'm like, okay, what's the other side then? He couldn't give us the other side. So why are you arguing with fans? Why are you even coming out talking about it, man? I had to imagine that this has upset a lot of people in WWE. It has to. Ryback, I think, made a very stupid move. He has come out and made the following statement. I'm just going to read it. For the record, if I quit for being fragile and insecure, I would make up excuses too. Things didn't go my way for a long time, and I kept on going day in and day out. Oh, man. And slander is a powerful thing, and to state complete made-up nonsense for no reason shows his insecurities. Wow, Ryback. This was stupid. Ryback should not have said anything of the subject matter. He should have been professional and stayed quiet. But now that he came out and said what he said, now fans are going to look at him like he's retarded. And it's funny because CM Punk talked about him in the podcast not being a very smart person. And then he does this and proves him right. Ryback, man, next time just shut up and just do your job. You responding to it just added fire to it. You just made us think that maybe he's right. if you hadn't said anything, we would have thought, okay, maybe he's just bitter. But since you said something, yeah, you probably did it. Everything he talked about in the podcast. And then, of course, the WWE talks about how, they take care of their talent. Their wellness program is, intact, and they have one of the most well-respected physicians in the country, Dr. Joseph Maroon. Prove it. It doesn't look good right now based off of what CM Punk said. And with people getting injured left and right, you most likely don't. And you're just saying this just to cover your ass, which is understandable. But again, like Brian James said, there are two sides to the story. What's the other side? What is the other side, WWE? There probably isn't. So until we get that other side, right now, CM Punk looks like a martyr, and you guys look like a-holes. Seriously, let's talk about what CM Punk said in the podcast. I have bullet points here, so just gonna, shoot them off and just give my thoughts on them. First off, kicks it off by saying he is happier than he has ever been before in years, which is good to me, That's what I want for Phillip Brooks. As much as I miss CM Punk, the character, ultimately what I want for someone like CM Punk, or Phillip Brooks in this case, is that he's happy. You work so you can have a happy life. That goes for anything you do. And since professional wrestling has been known to shorten the lifespan of those who take a career in it, CM Punk getting out when he could is completely understandable. And to see him, having a happy life with his wife, AJ Lee, I can't really fault him for it. And one thing I respect about him, immediately off the bat, he owns up to himself being bitter about the situation. He just says it, I'm bitter. And although he doesn't want to bash anybody, he won't make any promises. So to anybody saying that, oh, he's a bitter a-hole, he's just, he's caught up in himself and he's conceited and stuff like that, well, he owns up to it. So what else, okay? And this makes me think about myself when it comes to the WWE as well. I'll admit I'm a little bit bitter about losing my job with them, working with the actual YouTube part of WWE and the matchups. I lost it because of what I did on this channel, ripping them apart on my Raw reviews and Twitter. That sucks. I've gotten over it, but seriously, for me to not be bitter shows that I didn't care. I did care. CM Punk did care about what he was doing. So of course he's going to be bitter. Anybody that says he's only bitter, you would be bitter too if you was in his shoes. Because if you cared about wrestling like he did, you really, really can't blame him. I don't blame him, so why should you? The main reason why he left, based off of what he told us, is because of his health. He talked about working with broken ribs, a concussion, bad knees, and a staph infection. A staph infection that got him so sick, he was throwing up, he was dry heaving night after night, he had fever for months, no appetite, and all the WWE doctors gave him was antibiotics. Every single time he came up to them, asked them, help me, fix me, they just gave him patches and antibiotics, and it did nothing. While this staph infection just kept on growing and growing and growing, CM Punk is telling him, cut it out, cut it out. He's all like, no, I'll give you some medicine. I'm just like, what the hell? Listen, you don't have to like CM Punk, okay? You can have your opinions on him, but there was no way anybody could have excused this. That doctor should have done his job and helped out CM Punk. I don't care if that doctor didn't like him either. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. This guy could have died based off of what he told us about when he went to a doctor outside the WWE, and that doctor told him, you could have died, dude. This staph infection was so bad, he shouldn't even be alive right now. And so when I hear that, it's like, what could have happened if he did die? What would have happened, WWE? It could have happened, based off of what the doctor said. This is serious. Staph infections are not a joke, guys. And how do you not know that it was a staph infection? WWE, you say you have the best doctors in the world, but you have doctors who don't know what a damn staph infection is? It makes me worried. If this doctor can't tell what a staph infection is, how do we not know that the other wrestlers don't have it? Seriously, this is not good. This is unexcusable. That is retarded. That's not right. No wonder he left. If anything else, screw creative, screw his character directions, screw the fact that he never got the WrestleMania main event. This alone makes me feel CM Punk made the right decision. You don't do this to your employees. This just shows total disregard for the people who work for you. He said it was the worst he has ever felt in his life. And honestly, I can remember CM Punk looking absolutely out of shape and skinny and just unhealthy around that time. So I believe him. It's right there. I mean, go watch his matches, 2013-ish, that latter half of it, and see how he looked. And compare that to how he looks now. Completely different. But yeah, he goes on to talk about Ryback and how he, quote-unquote, took 20 years off his life and described him as steroid guy. He had no good things to say about Ryback. But why would he? I mean, again, WWE, you shoot Ryback straight to the main event picture, and he hurts your champion. CM Punk said he broke his ribs by kicking him in it. I think he dropped him very wrongly during the TLC match in 2013, and probably hurt him again when they had their feud later on that year. And so I'm thinking, clearly he wasn't ready. And obviously he either hurt him intentionally or he's very stupid. And like CM Punk has said, he must be very stupid because he admitted it. So, Ryback, man, not looking good for you right now. CM Punk just told the truth. It is what it is. So, man, so he got a concussion at the Royal Rumble, but still worked it. He passed a concussion test the very next day, and all he did was, have his headphones on, and he was tweeting Colt Cabana apparently, and he passed it without doing anything. Called it BS. But then here's the kicker. After he passed the test, they kept on evaluating him. They told him to run the ring ropes and do some other stuff, and so he's all like, wait. You just said I passed the test, so I'm good. Okay, if I'm still being evaluated, then this test is invalid. It's stupid. It shouldn't be here because it doesn't determine if I have a concussion or not. Do I have a concussion or do I not have one? That's dumb. Okay, so obviously this test is not good enough. So why is it there, WWE? Again, you have the best physicians in the world, but their tests clearly aren't good enough. This is stupid, man. Again, it makes me worry about their wellness program. Oh my God. But this is where I will fault him in this entire thing. He admits that he denies being hurt and continues to work. That was dumb. He should have said something much earlier. Come on, Punk. He did say something eventually, but if he was hurt and denied it during that time, he shouldn't have done that. But again, he was trying to be a team player and just went with it. So, hey, maybe that's something to admire about him. He tried to toughen it out. I don't think it was very smart. Here's a good one. He talks about how he was very frustrated putting over wrestlers who would only show up once a year and then leave while he was still there. People like The Rock, people like The Undertaker, and people like Brock Lesnar, all in 2013. Oh, he also mentions Triple H later on, but we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, you know what? The matches were great, especially his match with Undertaker at WrestleMania 29, which the WWE even told him was the best match and should have gone on last. Funny story is, they didn't pay him like it. They still paid Rock and Taker much more money than they paid CM Punk. That is wrong, man. That's messed up. If you told him that he had the best match on WrestleMania, you should have paid him like it. Jesus freaking Christ. This company treated him badly. And then on top of that, you want him to put over these talents who are only going to be there once a year and then come back the very next day with less momentum, with less credibility on his hands because now he can't beat a Lesnar, he can't beat a Taker, and he can't beat a Rock. Why is he such a big deal now? You just completely killed him to put over these guys who won't even be there to reap the awards from it. Stupid decisions all around. I understand why he was upset, why he was mad and miserable at WWE. I'm sorry, after hearing this, I can't subscribe to the theory now that the WWE creates stars. Based off of how they treated CM Punk, I am firmly behind this idea that they don't know what the hell they're doing. WWE creating new stars is a bunch of BS. They do not create their stars. The talents make themselves. People like CM Punk and Daniel Bryan made themselves, despite how bad the company is. And it's so ridiculous because anytime they get their hands on them, they screw up with them. They're only concerned with what they care about. They can give two craps about what we care about. It's only what they want. And again, these are words that you've heard me say before. I've always said the WWE cares nothing about their product but their image. Now CM Punk is saying it, and he's confirming it for me. He's confirming everything that I've said was wrong with the WWE for the last year or so. So now I don't feel bad about what I've been saying. It's completely right. But getting back to the podcast, he talks about how he, on the day of the concussion test, he brought Vince McMahon and Triple H into a room, and he let them have it. He told off Triple H about cutting off his momentum in 2011, which he did. That was BS. CM Punk was hot over with the pipe bomb, won the championship, and then he fights Triple H at freaking Night of Champions, loses to him, then he loses to Miz and R-Truth the very next month, and it was, oh my god, that was dumb booking. Oh, and I didn't even talk about what they wouldn't let him do. He talks about how while he was champion in 2011, 2012-ish, he actually had people calling him to sponsor him. He had people calling him to put him in movies, to put him in a television show, and WWE said no to all of it. But then they let John Cena do a movies. They let Randy Orton go do a movie. I think, yes, they did. Brock Lesnar brought in his own sponsors and stuff like that. And CM Punk couldn't do it. I'm just like, what the hell is that, man? Even the stuff with the 12-round movie was messed up. You know, CM Punk was chosen to do 12 rounds. And then Triple H did something, I don't know, he said he was going to get back to him about it. Next thing you know, Randy Orton gets it. And CM Punk's like, what the hell? I thought I was supposed to get it. But then he complains to Vince McMahon about stifling his creativity, which he has. He spoke against Batista being a babyface, even said Batista himself was against it, and thought it was absurd that he was going to main event WrestleMania 30, which I was just like, I cannot believe they're going to do this. I'm happy they changed it, and they should have changed it, thank God. But even back then, he was very frustrated at the idea that someone like Daniel Bryan, who was hot over, was not getting the respect that he deserved. But again, they changed it, so thankfully they did. But during that meeting, he told them he was done. He did not want to work for them anymore, and he walked out. He said that Vince McMahon was in tears. Vince hugged him, told him that we're family, and then said their goodbye. And then comes the most messed up part of this entire ordeal. So CM Punk, he didn't walk out. He was fired. Apparently, in his contract, it said that he was allowed to leave at any point in time. I don't know when he got it. Maybe he got it in 2011 when he tried to walk out the first time. Maybe he always had it. I don't know. But that was his contract situation. He was not in breach of his contract. What had happened was, while he was on his leave, Vince McMahon suspended him for WrestleMania, and then they fired him on his wedding day. You fired CM Punk when he was going to get married to AJ Lee on his wedding day. You don't do that by accident. That was calculated and cold. I'm sorry, here's my thing, okay? With the stuff Stone Cold Steve Austin did to the company, he walked out. Ultimate Warrior tried to sue them. You have all these other wrestlers just talk so badly about WWE, and they're in the Hall of Fame. They get the respect. CM Punk didn't even breach his contract. He was frustrated. He was unhealthy. He was screaming to the WWE, help me, help me, help me. So what he did, he left to take care of himself because of his health. And they do him wrong like this, man. Good freaking Lord. You know, all this stuff about his finances and about royalty checks and stuff, about them not wanting to pay him although he deserved it and stuff. It's, my God, man. That was messed up. How do you send him his termination papers on the day of his wedding? You don't do that by accident. I don't care what the WWE says. They screwed up with that. And I'm sorry, there is nothing CM Punk did to deserve that. Nothing he did. Yeah, he was hard to work with. Well, so was Shawn Michaels. The guy that the WWE says is the greatest performer to ever enter their ring. He gave them hell back in the day. And I guarantee you Vince McMahon would have never allowed that to happen to Shawn Michaels. But CM Punk, oh, it's okay. We'll fire him on his wedding day. And this whole thing makes me think about AJ Lee and why she has been phoning it in for the last half year. She's most likely done too. She only came back to finish her program with Paige, most likely finish some stuff up with the Bellas, and I'm pretty sure she's going to leave as well. I can't imagine she is happy with the way the company has treated her husband. She can't be happy with it. And it must be awkward for CM Punk to watch her work with a company that treated him like crap. So, yeah, I'm convinced now that AJ Lee might be out the door sooner than later. But to end this, he talks about how he hired a very vicious lawyer to go after the WWE and fight their claim of breach of contract, which, by the way, talks about how he can't work for things like the UFC and TNA. Really? You gave them specifics on what they can and cannot work with? WWE is so freaking petty, man. But in the end, he got a settlement that gave him everything he asked for, including his royalty checks and more. Of course, Punk is not allowed to talk about the settlement, which is fine with me. But he said they are done and he will never have a working relationship with them again. Funny thing is, he said the WWE wanted a joint statement and he said screw off. Yeah, guys, after this interview, I'm positive that we might not ever see CM Punk in a WWE ring, at least for the current future. Maybe 10 years down the line, we might, but as of right now, don't expect it. But yeah, that was the podcast, man. WWE, you goofed up. You messed up. You are in a very bad light right now. Those CM Punk chants, you know what? I might be against it, but now if it happens, I completely understand. The CM Punk chants are going to hunt you for a while now. Especially since this came out, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You have gotten fans in such an uproar. Loyal fans are unsubscribing from you, WWE, based off of how you treated CM Punk. Man, you are messed up. I'm worried about the future now. I'm worried about these talents in NXT and the people there right now. Because if they did this to Punk, how do we know they're not doing this to people like Cesaro or Bryan? Well, Bryan's not there because he got injured already. You know, this is not good, man. So you got this company, first off, putting on a very bad product as it is. And then on top of that, we hear stories from CM Punk being miserable in the back. Man, it must be the worst place to work right now. WWE has to be the absolute worst place to be when it comes to being a wrestler. It has to be. Vince, Triple H, Stephanie, Kevin Dunn, take charge of your company. Do something about this. Because fans won't support it for long. Quite frankly, I am considering canceling my subscription. I don't want to support a company that treats their wrestlers like this. Who would? Shame on you. Shame on you. And the crazy thing is, at the end of the day, WWE won't care. They will not care. Because they don't. They don't care about their wrestlers. They care about themselves their image and their money. And the wrestlers that have a problem with that, they'll get mistreated, and they won't care. That's the world we live in. Yeah, the business has changed. That's what the business is. And if you're happy with that, good for you. I'm not. And based off of what I've heard, your boy the Lex, man, if you thought he was bad before, you haven't seen nothing yet.